Cool. Let's get started.
Yeah. So you've got like an e-training
So,
business, and you also work for like an automotive company. Is that right?
so I'll give you my quick background. I started in the automotive industry at 20 years old. I sold cars. I managed dealerships, and at some point, I wanted to get out of automotive retail. And what happened was I started to look to go on the vendor side, to go work on the marketing side. And because at that time I didn't have a college degree, a lot of these companies were turning me down. And what happened was I started working with a startup company part-time while managing a car dealership. And there was a company called Red Numbat. And I started to do things nationally. At the time, social media around 2008, 2009 was becoming really popular. And, Facebook, we didn't have Facebook groups. Twitter was becoming a popular thing. And there's a lot of different blog platforms that came out in the automotive industry. So I started writing articles, started promoting the product that I was selling. And the next thing you know, I started to get published in magazines that went to car dealers. I started to go to conferences, NADA, Digital Dealer, whatnot, driving sales. And so I started to build that brand. And somebody gave me the idea at some point, why don't you start a social media company? And I didn't do that till many years later, but I ended up going to work in another car dealership because we couldn't make this company go where it needed to. We couldn't secure the funding. So I ended up going to work at a car dealership and, broke some records, brand new dealership in 2009. And it was a dealership called Teddy Nissan. And basically what we did was we took a brand new dealership in a down economy from the previous owner that was selling 30, 40 cars a month with a bad reputation. And within 9 months, we're selling 250 cars a month. And the dealership got featured in magazines. I got tired of the craziness of it. I left after a year and went to start training. I partnered up with a training company for about 8 months, and then I started my own business, which was dealer eTraining. And so what was cool is from that point on, it took me about a year to really get some things off the ground, but we finally got there. And I got to start speaking at conferences. I got to keep writing. I got to train a lot of dealers. I've probably consulted well over 70 dealers over these last 9 years. And, I've gotten to be a part of a lot of cool networking groups. And then about 2 years ago, I started doing social media for small businesses back then too, but 2 years ago, I finally decided to form Social Share, and I started to build brands. So one of the big things we did, there was a Mitsubishi dealer that opened up in New Jersey, in the United States where I live. This Mitsubishi dealer, a very old friend of mine, opened up this store, so we helped, get him, visible and well-known on social media. And, he unfortunately ended up closing down for various reasons. But last year, we took on another old friend of mine, became a general manager of a Mitsubishi dealer in New York and Brooklyn, and brought us on, and we put him on the map. Socially, he became, like a superstar. Like within 45 days, we're at the NADA convention. Everybody's interviewing him, and we blew him up. And now he's a pretty well-known name in the automotive industry. And so I utilized that to build social media. And it's funny because the hardest part of what I do with social media is that not everybody wants to be a superstar. Not everybody wants to be in front of a camera. Not everybody wants to be a public figure. And I have to kind of teach myself sometimes, take a step back and more focus on what the product is they're selling, what the services they're providing, more so than just what they're doing on, for themselves. But so going back to the process, so the process came to me, putting together a sales process or a management process came to me even as far as 2005. I lived in Florida for a year, and I was working for an AutoNation dealership, and I started doing internet sales. I moved from being on the sales floor to selling cars, with a CRM, with a phone, and, AutoNation had a process. It was at that time, I think it was a 66 or 63 day process. And over the years, it taught me to become process oriented. A couple years later, when I was in another dealership, I was a process facilitator for Honda. And so my job was to make sure that every department in the dealership has a process so that we can get validated, win President's Award. And So for me, that became a big thing. So over the years, I tweak it every year or two, depending on the trends of sales, depending on the brand I'm selling. I tweak my process, and I've been able to do this not just for car dealers. I did it for startup companies. There was a company called was it not Safelight? Oh my God. Forgot the name of the company. This is like maybe going back 5 or 6 years now. It's a company that was a startup that sells these devices for cars. You know how these new BMWs and Mercedes have these little devices that if you're driving straight and you're not straight in your lane and you kind of cross, the lines, it kind of gives you like beeps for safety.
Sure.
It's collision. I think it's like collision mitigation or something. I forgot the name of the word. So I had a company like that actually reach out to me and have me build a follow-up process because a lot of it was phone sales. And I've done a lot of that stuff, over the years. So for me, process is everything.
Yeah. And what, in terms of the one that you posted the other day, I think it was something like, I've got this in place, follow this process, and then the team books a load of meetings on the Saturday.
Yes.
How does that actually kind of work in practice?
Okay, so basically, and I'm tweaking it around right now because that part of me is a little old school, I guess. And it's funny, I'm only 35 and I'm already using words like old school because a lot of the trends changed. We have a CRM system in the automotive industry. In this case, Jersey City Kia has a CRM system called Dealer Socket. And we're actually in the process of changing over to a new Dealer Socket because this one was under previous management. And basically what I'm trying to do is I have a team of, 4 business development center reps, or as I like to call them, guest relations or client care reps. And their job is to follow up with customers that contact the dealership via the internet by submitting an internet purchase request or via calling into the dealership. So say they're on my website or on their third-party website, they see a BMW 750i that I have on for sale. People call in. Their job is to generate an appointment. Their job is to get the customer information and create an appointment so they come in and buy the car. And right now, with no advertising, brand new dealership, this past Saturday did 30 appointments. Granted, we're in a very big metro area in a major city, so the traffic is there. As we increase our marketing efforts, we're going to double and triple that, for Saturdays. But it's all going to come down from that follow-up process. So the map is there for a reason. I want people to, assuming that you can't get the customer on the phone, assuming that you can't engage in a conversation, I want them to have a set process of, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, what to send out. And a big part of my process that I've been changing up more recently was I'm trying to avoid as much email. It's funny because I was looking at like Kia's program. Every manufacturer in automotive has a program of how they think that you should follow up on leads. And in this case, I was taken back by how much email they want me to send. I think it's a little crazy. I think even myself, like back in the day, I used to be, phone call, email, phone call, email, phone call, email. Now there's, phone call, text, email, phone call. But you can't get somebody on the phone in the morning, you call them again later on at night. But then it comes down to, phone call, email, text, call. Then the next day it's just phone call, text. And then the next day it's phone call, email. And then it's like phone call and leave them alone. Then for 2-3 days you leave them alone. And then again you do a phone call, email. I want it to be more so the customer doesn't get spammed. So I look at stores, these big brand stores, Walmart, Target. I'm sure you've heard of them, right? So
Yeah.
I look at what happens when I give them my email address, when I do business with these companies. They're nonstop. They spam me every day. And I probably, in a course of a week, delete 50 emails from Walmart alone. And it gets a little ridiculous. Granted, what I'm selling is a car. I'm not selling everything. See, so when Walmart does it, they have more of a right to do this because they're going to get the consumer either way. You know what I mean? Exactly. So when Walmart does it, it's all about, they have something for everybody. It's a major store, whether it be groceries, whether it be parts for your car, whether it be toys, TVs, it's got everything. So when Walmart does it, they have more authority on that. When I do it, all I do is aggravate my customer. I only sell one thing, and that's a vehicle. And I also have a lot of competition between different brands, between different other dealers with the same brand, there's probably 12 of them in the district alone. So I have to be careful how I do email marketing.
Yeah.
And
how have you found like an approach to an inbound lead or an inbound call compared to perhaps a cold outreach or even a warm outreach? Like, what do you have you found as the different like skill sets that those like BDRs that you spoke about need to display?
So the skill sets they need to display. So a lot of times, and this is kind of interesting, I've been toying around with this. I'd love to be able to send out video messages. Not everybody wants to be photogenic. Not everybody wants to get themselves on camera. And that's one of those things where I think that's a hiring issue now. I think nowadays when you hire somebody, I'm looking for a couple things. I'm looking for you to have a personality. I'm looking for you to have a great phone voice. I'm looking for you to be able to type effectively. I'm looking for you to be a social person in the aspect of I'm going to incorporate social media into the business. I want to brand the business. So I want everybody to be out there. I want to be able to create a graphic. I have a social media company. I want to be able to create a graphic where I'm promoting you, so you're here, call so-and-so, for this lease special, so for me, it's all about that aspect of things. And so those are the things I look for. The other thing, too, with emails, a lot of it is templated. And the reason why is because I also don't want them to have to think for themselves as much. Sometimes, let me rephrase that. Sometimes they do have to think for themselves because they need to overcome the objection. But sometimes I want them to just follow a process. I don't want them to veer off, say the wrong thing to the customer. It's really simple. It's just, the follow-up process is very simple. You qualify the customer, you find out what they're looking for, you ask them a few questions, you get them to laugh, you get them to like you get them to build their rapport and their relationship, and at the end of the day, they're going to come and do business with you. It's all about what you say and how you say it.
Yeah. You touched earlier on a couple of different social platforms. What for you have you found has been the most productive in terms of, I don't know, pipeline generation or at least revenue generating activity from all the different options that are out there?
I would say at this point in time, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, blogging, LinkedIn. So for a while there, I kind of just stepped back. I'm going to start writing again soon. I kind of, sometimes I go on this thing where I'll write like crazy and then I'll stop. And so what's interesting is I'm posting these videos on social media. I'm posting them on Instagram. I'm posting them on Facebook. I'm going live right now, people, because all the stuff that I'm sharing, I want people to see I'm actually live on Facebook. And because this makes a great conversation. And, I'm putting, little 2-minute videos, 10-minute videos on LinkedIn. I'm doing little, quotes. I just want people to engage. I want people to watch. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be people that are going to love it. I had a couple great comments yesterday. There's going to be people that are not going to like it. And the biggest thing is it's the comfort zone. It's when you get to the point where you don't care if someone doesn't like it. And so for me, that's really the biggest thing. If someone doesn't like it, I keep going because somebody else will. I mean, obviously, you're in another country and you got attracted by my post. Now we're here talking, and who knows what can happen. Business can happen, opportunities can happen. And even more so, there's a chance to educate people.
Yeah, sure. And in terms of continually finding content to create, what do you think is the main challenge you face doing that? And have you got better at that?
So I like to think on the fly. The one thing that I've developed, a skill that I've developed, especially with video, is to do everything in one take. I believe in life you get one chance and everything you do in life, in reality. So if I'm going to get on a video, and I don't want to say that I'm lazy, and I don't want to sit there and toot my own horn and say that I'm brilliant. I'm just an average person, but I think a little differently, and I find an opportunity to create content out of any given moment in time. And it took me many years to be able to get in front of a camera and just do a 1-minute video, professionally. But like I said, I believe that it takes too much time. It's funny, so many, advertising companies, commercial video companies, they come out, they say, here's a script, here's a lighting, and then all of a sudden they come out to film you and you have to do a script verbatim, and they spend 8 hours filming one 30-second video. Who's got time for that? I don't. So it's got to be raw, uncut, and real. And I would say out of 100 videos, I probably make a mistake 3 or 4 times. the rest of the time, everything gets done in one take, and I pride myself in that. And so the same thing with other content, with pictures, everything has to happen on the fly. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I'll sit here, and as you can see here, I have a notebook here. I have a notebook, and so if I'm going to a client, I will write out my ideas because I have a video person that wants me to be way more prepared than I usually am. And she drives me crazy with it sometimes, but she's got a good point there sometimes. And it kind of makes me take a step back and prepare. Like, for instance, we go to a barber shop, right? Shout out City Master Barbers in Old Bridge, New Jersey, by the way. We went to a barber shop to do videos. And I have a barber shop I go to all the time. And I'm very good friends with the owner. And I help him out. I consult him a lot. And we come out to... I'll sit there and I'll come up with like a list of things we need to video. And sometimes I'll do it for them and sometimes I'll do it for me. And, but then it's like, I don't create a script. It's just like, I just go out and I do it. And I kind of have an expectation of people to be the same way, but not everybody's going to be the same way. So with other people, you have to take multiple takes. But again, when it comes to content, even like putting out something like a quote, it's funny because sometimes I'll think about, okay, like today is Thursday. I haven't done anything yet. I like to do Thriving Thursday, right? And I'm going to, at some point after this conversation, I'm probably going to come up with a quote and put out a post for Thriving Thursday. Something that's on my mind. And I also try to keep it as real and genuine as possible. I try to keep, what's on my mind, what's in the heart. It could be personal, it could be business. If I'm hurting about something, you'll know. If I'm happy about something, you'll know. I don't like to, just show off all the good, because there's a lot of people out there that do social media fake. And it's always about, vacations. It's always about, oh, we sold 30 cars today. Sometimes it's about riding in the back of a car, pretending that they're a big baller, so to speak. And all of a sudden, they want to put out that message. For me, it's just real. If I had a bad day, I'll share it because that's life. And I believe that social media is, in a way, it's kind of like a movie. I always joke around saying my life is a movie. And like right now, I'm going live. I'm on my phone. I got Facebook Live on. But the thing about it, to me, I love going live, especially if say I'm in a car dealership and I got 70 beautiful cars I want to showcase, or say I'm in a restaurant and there's an event going on. I love going live because, to me, in my opinion, and I've never really heard people talk about it, but to me, going live on social media, that's like, if you do it the right way and effectively, raw and cut, I think it also makes it for a great infomercial. I don't know about you, but I don't watch much TV. Very little. Once in a while, I have a TV that lately I've been watching a little more of it, but I'll go through spurts where for a month, maybe I'll turn on the TV once. And so for me, Facebook is it for me. And plus now you got things like a watch party on Facebook. So now if I've made these videos over time, I can start a 1 hour watch party, and I went live on this video. I can put that up. I had a video posted here. I could put that up. And for me, what I like to do is my strategy sometimes is, things that I like. So I'm a big guitar player. I love guitars. And so I'll put something musical that I like for 2 minutes to entertain people. But then I'll go back and I'll do a video of me. Then I'll go back and do something funny. And I believe that's TV for people in 2019, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. So I suppose you're talking a little bit about like being like genuine and authentic and not just the positives. And then you've got like a sales process we've discussed, which is obviously like very, very important. Are there any other kind of like, I don't know, if you're speaking to someone that was just starting out in the sales industry, what would be like a big piece of advice that you'd give them?
The biggest piece of advice that I would give anybody going into sales is to study your profession, study your craft. I want people to really, hone in on skills. Right now, it's much easier than it was. When I got into sales in 2013, we didn't have as many resources as we do now. Literally, I can go on YouTube and I can spend a day. I can go watch Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, all these, Ty Lopez. And, some of these people catch, negative opinions. I believe that you just need to study everything. When I got thrown into the car business, I got trained. Luckily, I got hired by a trainer. I got trained for a week. Then I got put into it, and nobody really gave me the tools. It was just like, here's the phone, go call this customer. Nobody coached me on how to make a sales call, and I was afraid to call people. I didn't know what to say. I was afraid of the rejection. I was afraid. I didn't have a way to overcome objections, and it was like, okay, what if the customer hangs up on me? What if they say no? At the time, I didn't have the confidence that I have now. So that made a really big difference for me, and it took probably 2 years for me to effectively get good at it. So, my first year, I was selling, 10, 12 cars a month. I think my 7th month, I finally sold 20. And then maybe 2 years into it, I finally got confident. And then obviously when I started doing internet sales and having to be on the phone, following up with customers, calling on leads and whatnot, that was my biggest thing. And so I learned over time. Then obviously I invested lots of money in training, conference after conference, book after book, lots of time invested. And I think that a lot of people get into the businesses of sales and they don't study their profession, and you need to. And then, of course, once you develop your way of doing things, it becomes easy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Stan, like I said, great to connect. And what I was going to do off the back of this was, I said, chop up, maybe create some different content and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd really appreciate an opportunity maybe to connect again, maybe a couple of months down the line.
Yeah.
Re-engage.
Anything. My pleasure. My pleasure. Reach out to me anytime. I'm more than happy to talk and even learn from you. I'd like to learn more about what you do as well.
Yeah. Maybe we could line that up for the next one in a couple of months.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Cheers, Dan. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
Day,
Thanks, you too. Take care.
Bye now.
All right, be good. Bye-bye. So there you have it, guys. What is going on? Happy Thriving Thursday. Hope you guys are killing it out there today. I am energized. It is 9:57 a.m. in beautiful central New Jersey. And you know what? It's sunny out, but I didn't get a chance to open these windows because we need lighting for videos. I am fired up right now. So here's what happened. So a couple days ago, a gentleman liked one of my Instagram posts, wanted to do a call with me, wanted to pick my brain, wanted to interview me. He's head of sales for a company. I believe he's in Australia. And what happened was we made a call for today, and we just did a 30-minute call. And as you guys can see, I'm fired up. He asked me a lot of questions. Really, it was just about me being natural, talking and sharing some advice. So I really hope, really, truly hope that you guys got a chance to pick up some good knowledge here, some good experiences. Share. They say sharing is caring, right? So I care and I share. So I really, really want people to get some really good vibes, some good content, some good motivation, some good inspiration. I want you guys to be out there, killing it today. Again, it's Thriving Thursday, and I love to document the things that I do. That's how Social Share came to be. That's how Dealer eTraining came to be. That's how Stand Share came to be. It all came to be from personality. It all came to be from just the will to succeed. The will to succeed, guys. And that's really what I'm talking about here. So I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. I hope you guys, are working super hard. Put your focus on what you're doing. And just make it happen, man. Be a rock star. If you got a chance to really watch this video and you got a chance to really understand, where I'm coming from, I really would like for you to just invest your time and energy into bettering yourselves. I was just talking about this. YouTube has some great tools for you, okay? Social media in general. LinkedIn has some great tools for you, some great content. Read magazines, watch sales movies, get motivated, get fired up. Everything that we do in life is sales. So if you guys get a chance, please check out my LinkedIn. Also, we've been posting regularly. We're going to start doing some more articles and whatnot. But again, it just comes down to your will. What's up, Paul? It comes down to your will to succeed. What's up, Rob? Do you have the will to succeed? That's the thing. Are you willing to succeed? Or do you want to just sit there and let things go by the wayside? Shout out to Mike Murphy yesterday at my dealership at Jersey City Kia. We started using Car Now, and I went in there and I started looking at my customers that were on my website over the last day and a half since we went live. And we had 3 customers that reached out. Things went by the wayside. Guess what? We're able to re-engage those customers and create 2 new appointments, which potentially will sell 2 cars, or at least 1. If 2 show up, maybe we'll sell at least 50%, right? So profit, think success, and think happiness. Don't get me wrong, okay? We all have our moments when we get sad. I've had my moments, where things weren't going great. But things can always be on the up and up. So again, Thriving Thursday. That's why I call this Thriving Thursday. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. This was a really, really awesome call. Matter of fact, I believe that somebody needs to interview me once a day at 9 o'clock in the morning to get me to talk. You know why? Because it gets me excited, guys. You know what? An hour ago before this call, I wasn't even that excited. I mean, I was happy. I was like, it's going to be a great day. But now I'm actually fired up because I spent 30 minutes talking to somebody on a whole other part of the world in another country, sharing my history, sharing my mentality, talking about, what it is that I've done. And he's actually going to go back and take notes and be like, damn, he got this. So that's what it's all about, guys. So again, I put this out there. Share this as much as you can. Paul, please share this. I love you, Paul. You are the man. We're going to kill it with lot links. Okay, Rob, Leanne, please share this. Anybody watching this, please share this. Okay, this is absolutely fire. Fire is right. 3 things of fire he puts up. That's right, man. Fire is right. It is Thursday. I actually am not going to be at the dealership today. Been there nonstop, taking a break for the day. But today, we are in social share mode. We are going to get cleaned up, dressed up, and we have to hit a few businesses because it never stops, man. It never stops. And right now, I am so excited that I'm just ready to close, and I'm ready to build relationships. Okay, and I think a friend of mine, Sean Ziem, if he gets a chance to watch this, Sean Ziem is hosting a networking event tonight in northern New Jersey in Clifton, and I think I'm going to reach out, and I think I'm going to go and meet some real estate professionals. So, Kaizen, that's right, my man, Kaizen. So, that's all. By the way, if anybody wants to network, if anybody needs help, it doesn't matter what business you're in. If a lot of my friends out there, you guys have businesses, small businesses, big businesses. If anybody needs sales training, if anybody needs social media help, branding help, just reach out to me. Let's make it happen. Paul, I know you're networking with a lot of people. Let's make it happen. I know we're business partners now. You're in real estate now? Great, man. Let's put you on the map. Okay, if I introduce you to some of the real estate people that I know, you'll be like, damn. Okay, shout out to George Pavlushkin, Roman Baladin, Carlo Colucci, other real estate professionals that I'm friends with, Cynthia Konshu, my dear friend Cynthia. I got some heavy hitter real estate people in my corner. So, and Rob, if you want to connect with some good people, I know you're up north. My people are more central. Cynthia's in Hillsborough, Roman, and George are in Manalapan, Marlboro area. But guess what? They're selling everywhere. So, Fiza Sheldon, another one. Fiza Sheldon in the Howell area as well. So shout out to all my real estate people. Carla is in the Saraville, Central Jersey area as well. You guys need to connect because at the end of the day, buying and selling, right? You might be buying, she might be selling, or you might be selling, she might be buying. So, you guys got to connect. Small world out there. I know there's a million real estate agents, but it's a small world out there. There might be a million, but I can only think of maybe 10 in my mind that I know that are like super amazing. And I can only think of maybe 4 that are like at the top of their game. And the people that I've mentioned are at the top of their game. Okay, so automotive people, you guys need help buying a car. So, well, you know what? I'm running a Kia dealership. So guess what? Come to me and I will help you get a Kia. Okay, if you need a Honda, come to me. I'll help you get a Honda. Guess what? One of my best friends works right next door to me. So you guys need a Chevy? I got a good friend that works at Chevy down the road. I will help you with whatever it is you want. Okay, at the end of the day, it's all about helping people. we're in this fight together. We're in it to win together. Okay, yes, there's some competition, friendly competition, sometimes not so friendly competition. But at the end of the day, whatever it is that we're doing, we're in this together. So let's help each other. That's why we have social media, so we can share the positivity, share the good vibes with each other. All right, guys? So I got to be done for this. I got to get back to work. You guys have an incredible Thursday. Be rock stars. Thriving Thursday. Social Share is out. Have a good one.